Urgent ultra bull mode activated. Are we in for a whirlwind? Just absolutely melting to the upside. We're going to talk about that. I've got some incredible data that we've got to dive into today. So everybody get to hold on to your britches because we're in for an incredible 2025. I'm getting the live stream going right now. So let's get this retweeted, shared out over on Twitter. Here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell here on X as well. Show some love. Let's go ahead and get this going. We're going to be getting the music going on here in just a second. We're going to start this stream in about 2 minutes. So everybody get activated. Roll call right now. Who's in the house? If you're here on Twitter or if you're here on YouTube, either way, drop a comment on what's going on here because you know what? We got to get active. We got to make sure that we are a community because a rising tide raises all ships, and we've got to really make sure we take advantage of the opportunities right now. We don't mess this up because, hey, we are about to have an incredible Thanksgiving time, Christmas time. The rest of our lives are going to be changed from what we are doing right now. So everybody, let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and get this music going. Let's vibe because market's pumping. We're hanging out in previous all-time highs, and we got to make sure that we don't mess this up. So everybody, let's go.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish shelter. It's not our fault. Blame the cult. It's the political cowards when it comes to gas. Our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We're hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping.
we're hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't
flight
nobody
to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin pump.
We're hearing from clients around the world.
I'm ready. Are you ready? Roll call to everybody that's here right now. Drop something, anything, a period, an emoji, the word bull in chat. Let me know you're here. Let's get into this bull. Urgent. Bitcoin and crypto super cycle. Is it about to be activated? Are we seeing signs that we cannot ignore about what is about to happen in this market? How's everybody doing today? My name's Kelly Kellum, bringing you that unbiased, healthy look, meaningful tools, content, resources. My name's Kelly Kellum, and I'm here to make sure you stay on the right side of the trend. Shout out to each and every single one of you. It is about to, we're about to set our future on fire of just absolute green flames of bullishness. And we've got to talk about this because Bitcoin is sitting right now, hovering here in that, basically right around that $76,000 mark. Looking at this, we're just consolidating currently up in this zone right at the top. Shout out to Alexandra G dropping in the pre-show before we went fully live. Here live in the chat, dropping that $5 super chat. Also, Tater dropping $1.99 super chat, says, Kelly, you are the best, fam. Much love. And you know what? I got this damn disco ball. I thought about it this morning. I'm going to make it happen so we can get this spinning behind us. Why? Because we are about to want to party every day for the next few months into next year. We're going to talk about the timeline. We're going to talk about the data. We're going to talk about the bullishness coming in, the buying pressure, a little bit of, concern in terms of cautionary targets. There's no problem right now if we get a pullback. We just want to identify what those levels are. Shout out to all of our channel sponsors right here, channel partners really, CoinW, NordVPN, and Arculus. The links are down below this video. If you're watching here on YouTube, If you're not watching here on YouTube, make sure you come and subscribe just so you can stay plugged in. We are also dual streaming, of course, on Twitter, where we have, we got about 133 people in the room. I'm sure in the matter of the next 5 or 10 minutes, as people see this, we're going to have several hundred, maybe even over 1,000. We always have guests pop in here. So shout out. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, I'm asking you for your sake, either go back to over here on YouTube at BitLab Academy, or on Twitter at Kelly Kellum, or at Academy BitLab. Watch yesterday's video. We had an incredible guest on talking about what is likely setting up because of the new administration. Remember, if you're investing, if your money is participating in this crypto market whatsoever, even if it's only in traditional assets, who cares what your political bias is? And I don't mean that disregardingly. I mean, you have to look at this as an investor right now and what it means for the likely sentiment shift about where money will likely flow, how the new money that has access, and what is about to happen in this market, because we are hovering right now 75.8. Golly, I mean, it feels like it's been so long. And if we pull back at all, just like Steve Winwood said, you just want to give me a higher low. No matter what we do, we're looking for any pullbacks right now to make sure that we can still substantiate and maintain this higher low trajectory on the chart, as we're seeing for the last several months, essentially since the bottom here back here in September, this first higher low zone here, and then we've just been stacking to the upside, breaking past previous all-time high, going into price discovery yet again. And we've got some data to talk about that right now. So every single one of you get involved. Hit the like button if you have anything green in your portfolio, and you should have a lot of green. Hit that subscribe button and ding the bell. Now it's time to get into it, because we got a lot of data to dive in today. So shout out to everybody that's here, especially those that are here on a daily basis. Those of you here for the first time, welcome to the family, baby. We got Bad Fox, Tater, Alexandra G, Granny's Garden. Who else we got in here early? OGGB, Logan's, and quite a few other people in here. So shout out to everybody that is in here early. Let's go ahead and dive in to what we want to talk about. First up, right here, just know Bitcoin is dead. It's over. Apparently, there's a new number one crypto with a staggering $340 quadrillion market cap, and that is this right here, Vested XOR. Look at that, 340 quadrillion. If you don't know already, this is essentially not possible. This is a glitch in the matrix. Let's see if they fixed it. Let's go ahead and refresh the page here on CoinGecko. It is now removed, you see, because that's essentially that would eclipse basically the world capital that is even available. But I just thought that was funny. I had to bring that up. And now look at this, though. So we're sitting here. We got $2.66 trillion over that 2.5 mark. Where do you think this crypto market is going over the next year? 12 months from now, do you think we'll eclipse 5 trillion? Do you think we'll eclipse 7 or 10 trillion? Let me know in the comments where you think this crypto market's going. Let's see how bullish or conservative you are, because we've got a lot of movement that we're going to have to be considering and navigating and making sure that we have the right strategy so that we don't get caught in the crosshairs of our own emotional just lack of strategy, because that's what's going to happen in this market. We're going to see a huge amount of capital that gets rotated out of many people's portfolios into people that are more patient. Because as I outlined yesterday, 2017 cycle, I think we had 8 moves that were 26 to 40% or more to the downside on the way up. So if we're seeing that over the course of this next 6 months, and I think we're going to see something very similar to 2017 in this cycle. In fact, I think it's going to be a combination of, believe it or not, what we saw in 2013 and what we saw in 2017. In fact, let me pull that up. I did not consider bringing that chart up, but let me bring that up just to outline exactly what I am talking about. And it's right here. Boom. If we pull this up, what we're seeing here in 2013, we had this large pump up, massive sell-off, and then another subsequent all-time high. This is similar by nature of having 2 major tops as we saw in last cycle. However, these were relatively flat. 2017, this is what I was talking about. All these moves, these are basically 25 to 40-ish percent. Most of them in the 30% range to the downside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we actually zoom into this, I believe we counted 8 moves that had 25 to 40% move retracements on the way up from all the way down here. Look at this, $217. What was the low here? 100, basically $200, all the way up 10x up here to 20,000. Will we get something like that again? I think this is far too large of an increase for what we're going to see this time. If we 10x from here, we'd be $780,000, $760,000. I don't think we're going to get that, but I also don't think we're going to get this muted cycle like we saw in the previous cycle. So let's make sure we're minding our P's and our Q's so that we can take advantage of the most profits possible in this cycle. Now, continuing on, everything is here in the green. We're getting on the hourly, we're getting a tiny little retracement, 0.35% on ONDO. But let's actually go to the daily and just see, I mean, everything. It's almost as if it feels like alt season is here. And I want you to realize it's not. Alt season is really defined when the altcoin market as a whole, not only is everything pumping, but is also the majority are outpacing Bitcoin's price action to the upside. Now, I hope all of your altcoin portfolios are seeing some green. Maybe you're underwater from where you bought, but that's okay because we are in for essentially a near perfect storm of bullishness to push this market to the upside. So let's stay vigilant and let's stay practiced so we don't mess this up. How is everybody doing today? Throw a 1 in chat if you feel good about this price action 2 days after the election. What's going on with your sentiment right now? Are you bullish? Are you worried that we may get a pullback? And neither answer is right or wrong. It's just a good metric when we start seeing people communicate here, especially all of you that have been so focused on this crypto market over this last several years. You know, this is my third cycle. I've been in this market for a while. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. And luckily, that first one has won out in terms of making money in this market. And that's why I'm here. I want to help prevent you from making some of the foolish mistakes that I have made over time. We've got the data, and we want to make sure that you have all those meaningful tools, content, community to make sure that we can do this together. So what are we talking about going into 2025? Well, I said consider the Bitcoin conference in 2025. Bitcoin will very, very, very likely be over $100,000. Ross Ulbricht will likely be free if Biden. Wow. If Trump lives up to his promise of freeing Ross Ulbricht on day one, and he'll likely be a speaker at the Bitcoin conference. Microsoft is set to very likely, based on everything going on, I can't imagine that they won't put Bitcoin on their balance sheet or at least vote to on that shareholder meeting. I think it's December 12th. What will that mean? Will that be a signal to Apple, Nvidia, Meta, Amazon, Tesla, and many other, especially tech stocks, but many other companies in general starting to stack, basically having a Bitcoin strategy? And at minimum, they are going to be having those very important conversations. And what does that do to buying pressure over the next 2 or 3 years? Will we even get a bear market? Who knows? All we can do is look at this data on a daily basis and make sure that we take advantage of adapting our strategy as needed. The next thing is, are we going to start seeing nations stacking? We got some incredible data on this that we're going to go over here in just a few minutes. And we're going to be looking, don't worry, we're diving in to the charts. We're diving into some altcoins. I'm going to give you some targets. I'm going to give you some signals. We're going to look at all this, but we also have to make sure that we have a good foundation of context of what's happening in the market so we can get our operating system queued up to where things are likely going, and we can basically position ourselves, plan things, and also hedge ourselves as needed. Now, the last thing is Gensler will likely in 2025 be long gone, and the alt market will be melting up. These next years will change lives. So if you can get behind that, if you agree with this, if you're excited about this in any way, throw, what are we going to put? Put a 100K, type 100K, spam 100K in the chat. Let's see how active you all are. Roll call. Let's see who's paying attention. Now, as we continue on, we've got so much more to get through, guys and gals, friends, gentlemen, countrymen. Let's unite. Let's talk about it. Now, what do we see? Gary Gensler under investigation hours after Donald Trump elected president. So as you see here, individuals from left-leaning organizations to fill senior roles at the SEC. If these allegations are true, the SEC is violating the Civil Service Reform Act to fill the agency with employees who possess a particular ideology. So has this been stacked to the left? Well, this will be wonderful at minimum just by announcing, just like the Wells notice that we've seen go out just in droves over this last year. Why would that be? And it's this also basically tied to this left-leaning sort of stacking of the SEC. Just by getting the notice, maybe they're going to have to take a cultured look at what their processes are for hiring. And it's just everything feels like it's clearing the way for bullishness, empowerment, and support of this crypto industry into 2025. Let's motherfucking go. I mean, guys, I'm so bullish. I am hyped right now. I'm feeling good. You're looking good. Our portfolios are pumping good. So let's go. This is what we're waiting on. This is what it is. That banana zone from Quentin Francois, initially coined by Raoul Paul. This was 2011 into 12 into 13, 2014 into 2016, 2017, all the way up here, well above that 20,000 mark. So this doesn't even show the top because you can't show it. It was so explosive. And then you see 2019 into 2020. And then we're looking at this. This is what we're waiting on, this next leg to the upside. Things are getting there. And what does this look like in the near future? 2016, 2020, 2024. According to this, a crypto rover chart shared by George over at Cryptos R Us. According to this, we should see Bitcoin hit 100,000 in the next 52 to 58 days, around basically a Christmas gift like you've never, ever gotten in your life. Basically right on December 28th to January 3rd, end of the year. And remember, at the end of the year, we have to be cognizant that there's a lot of capital flow and sometimes a reversal of that capital flow of when people hedge or take advantage of where they're at fiscally, whether it's individuals, especially now that we have institutions coming in play, in terms of what they're doing for their tax strategy to finish the year by December 31st, where they want to be, what they want on the books, where if they want to hedge, tax loss harvesting, so on and so forth. So even if we pump into near end of the year, there is a potential that we get a little pullback. I'm letting you know now, I'm putting you on notice that if we get a little pullback at the end of the year, it doesn't mean the market cycle's over. Stop being a whiny little needy and I'm not calling you out. I'm calling you out if you get to that feeling, you're like, oh, it's over. Don't be crypto savvy. And I don't mean don't be savvy. There's an individual out there, I like the guy, but he's still calling right now that we're in a distribution top. We're about to break down. Sir, we are in price discovery. So go discover what a bullish data set is, because all you're looking at is bearishness. In fact, all these bearish moves that we're going to see to the upside are going to be some of the last best opportunities of our lifetime. So let's make sure we realize we are setting up for the next major move. Now, looking at where we're at right now, these are the last two cycles. Look at this black dot. This wasn't just put on the chart. This was showing the black dots appear when you hit a new, basically all-time high sort of zone right here. Why is this way up here? Because you see on the yellow, this pushed up. You can't, it's hard to see, but let me zoom in here. See that yellow right up here? This is when, boom, when you create a new high. And look at this. The crazy thing here is, let's look at this. The new all-time high that we just had exactly matched on the day as a 2021 cycle. What do I mean by on the day? I mean, if you count from the market cycle bottom, in this case, ours was like 15,500. There was a particular day that one candle closed with a low. Counting from that day, and similarly in 2021, the cycle leading up to that, counting from the low before that, the exact same number of days, day 721, boom, you see that is where we got the high. It's amazing how on the nose we've been on this cycle when it's felt like it's been so different. Has it been different? No. We have so many more capital channels coming in with all these Bitcoin spot ETFs, with fair value accounting coming, with the 16 billion coming, with Michael Saylor and the $42 billion. We're going to go over all this in a second, but the point being is, yes, we broke to new highs before the halving this cycle. However, Was that a little bit of an overshoot? Was there something to do there with the M2 money supply, AKA inflation, also making the price look like it was breaking things differently when in reality, not really? We need all these capital channels if we're expecting any sort of parabolic move like we've seen in previous cycles, because there's more coins out now, not an astronomical amount, but there's also a massive difference, an exponential difference between what we saw in market caps now versus previous cycles. So you need an exponential number of capital flow to come in to get that same move. So things are bullish, but it's also needed to expect some of the same. This is what we're talking about. 16 bill coming from FTX here in the first or second week of December, starting those distributions. 42 billion coming from Sailor. Microsoft soon. Yes, you better believe it. I do not think. And we also have that U.S. government. Are they going to be buying 200,000 Bitcoin per year for the next 5 years? Now with the sweep of the Senate, now with the new Bitcoin aligned Bitcoin president, as well as a likely, I don't know where we're at, I haven't looked in the last day or two, of the House, we have the path cleared to get these meaningful positions and adjustments in the way our regulation enforcement and just support as essentially of growing this ecosystem. Guys, things are so bullish right now. Continuing on, historically, Bitcoin has reached market tops roughly 8 to 12 months after achieving a monthly close above its previous all-time high. Now, where would that put us? That would put us somewhere in between July and November 2025. Now, July is a bit odd because July is right in the smack dab middle of the summer. This is why I was outlining earlier. I do think there's a pretty strong possibility when we're looking at 2013 versus 2017 and then this 2020 cycle. I think we're going to get a combination of these two cycles right here, where it's not going to have this boom up, massive sell off, then boom, and then kind of a two double, one false top, and then no, I think we're going to get this melt to the upside, except I do think we're going to get something like this, much like we had Matthew Hyland on here a week or two, I think it was last week, when we were discussing that there's a potential top scenario in April. If you measure from the cycle low to the top, it's about 800 and something days. That would put it in the last two cycles. That would put something around April. We've also seen over the last several years, the summertime has been consistently bad. I don't even say bad. It's just the bullish momentum of the wind and the sails of the bulls tends, because liquidity somewhat evaporates in the summer, especially now that we have institutional players that are going to play a major part in this next bull cycle. If historically markets go a little flat during the summer, then I don't think we're going to get a peak into July. I think if we do get some sort of top similar to this, look, that was a top sell off, but it wasn't the top. That was a top. It wasn't. It was a little retrace. Wasn't the top. Yet again, so on and so forth. I think we may get a pretty big move into April, into May potentially, but then have a little bit of a lull, a little bit of a consolidation, a little bit of a sell off, and that little could be 30%, could be 40%. But I do expect, I'm still in line with thinking, especially considering what we just talked about. Did I already close it? I think I already closed it. Especially considering that we have all this new capital that's coming in and everybody's being put on notice that the Bitcoin strategy, especially as a company, the Bitcoin strategy of having Bitcoin on your balance sheet has made several companies, for instance, MetaPlanet, also MicroStrategy, be the best performing stocks in their respective stock market regions. So we have Microsoft, we're yet to see Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Nvidia, Meta, and there's, the number of companies out there that are essentially starting to be forced to consider a Bitcoin strategy. It's astronomical. So I do think that we will push. I think it's more likely than not that we're going to push into sometime between September and November for an actual top in the market in 2025. So just be aware of that. Now, continuing on, the 2-week Ichimoku cloud was right on the money. New Bitcoin all-time highs in November with the leading span bullish cross. Are a lot of people unanimously expecting the bull market right now? You bet. Will that keep price from rising? Nope. There will always be plenty of nuances of when and how Bitcoin gets to its destination to keep people guessing. And what we're seeing right here, the flip of this Ichimoku trend here has marked where, look at this, previous all-time high, flip, boom, launch. Previous all-time high, flip, boom, launch. We just got the flip. Are we about to get that boom launch? If you think so, type boom launch there in the live chat. Let's see who's paying attention, because it is imperative right now going into this next leg of the market. The next season that we're entering, the next epoch of our lives has started right now. And every day that you are not paying attention to what's happening, you are setting yourself up to miss life-changing opportunities. And there's going to be bumps along the road. Our question is going to be, how do we navigate those opportunities versus capitulation? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves right now. Do you want a better future, more time on your hands to help your friends and family, to buy your mom a house, to be able to contribute to, philanthropic things? Do you want to be able to not be a slave to somebody else's dollar impact, meaning working for somebody? That's what we are working on right now, everybody. And we see in the current structure, the market is at an equilibrium between bubble and crash. Oh, is that bad? Is that good? Well, let's look. I don't see any fundamental reasons to go lower, so the path upward is open. Now, remember what has stacked. We talked yesterday with Dave Weisberger, 30-year veteran here in the global finance markets, actively developing in the crypto ecosystem, understanding traditional finance as well as this next wave of evolution in technology and culture and commerce and savings and transaction. It's Bitcoin and blockchain and all the crypto market as a whole changes the course of our future. And the faster people realize that, and they're starting to, with the bullish news we've seen over this last year, we have the strongest base, the best asymmetric opportunity we've ever had in the history of the world. So this right here looks like a bottom, meaning that we have a platform to launch from. So let's freaking go. And I do want to shout out really quick, everybody that's in here. We got 507 people tuned in right now, diligently trying to set up and educate themselves and stay in the know for their future. And I just want to say I appreciate each and every single one of you. We got some TA. We're going to be diving in here in just a moment, so stick with us. And I do want to just shout out, head over to @KellyKellum or @Academy BitLab, either or. You can see this right here, this post. Urgent Bitcoin Ultra. This is the live stream there on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, all you have to do is go down, hit this retweet, hit the like button. It enters you to win. We do a drawing every Monday. We giving away money. We giving away crypto. We giving away cold storage wallets. We've given away merchandise, and we draw every week. And when we see a huge swell of people supporting, sometimes we do 2 or 3 drawings, meaning we randomly pick several people just to say, we love you, we appreciate you, we want to make sure that you're all staying active and engaging with this and getting this out to other people. Now, shout out to everybody that's here on a daily basis. I appreciate you. And again, if you are new here, my name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the BitLab stream. We got some more data to dive into, so let's get to it. I mean, guys, I'm so bullish right now. Oh, since the 64K level, retail players have returned to the market. Wait, retail's coming back? Okay. Currently, there's considerable activity at levels above 15%. This is that swing of the amount of volume, these transactions. You can kind of gauge retail because you're not seeing a huge swelling of transactions from institutions. $4,000, $130, $16. Once you get above the $10,000 mark, you're kind of a different type of player. We're seeing this retail starting to come in, and wouldn't you know it, once again, retail is starting to miss the boat, only buying because hype is here. All of you, if you bought at any time below 75,000, throw a W in chat, because you are a winner. That means that you were buying before the hype of, we broke past all-time high. Now it's time to buy because I'm a fucking idiot. Now, are you an idiot? Not really, because you're still so far ahead. But my point being, don't let the price breaking to new all-time highs and the excitement about that on assets be the trigger for you to buy. Now, with Bitcoin and a lot of crypto projects here, uniquely positioned in that there's likely, because of this market cycle, much, much higher to go. But Once we break past the previous all-time high and start going into price discovery, that's when you start aggressively getting this sort of increase of profit taking from whales that bought much lower. So you are essentially exit liquidity. Now, could prices go higher? Sure. But every day past the breaking into price discovery that you wait, you are more and more likely to be exit liquidity and not have the ability to realize gains on that. So if this is good that retail's coming back in, this is probably the start of the flood. And this is just rain. This is just sprinkling right now. This is not even the flood. It's just starting to get a little humid. But over the next 6 to 12 months, we have got some absolute astonishingly bullish stuff. Now, I've shared this before. This was in the short I did this morning. The MVRV ratio shows Bitcoin is still far from its peak levels. Let's go. I got to run through this because we got some TA we got to cover. Excluding stables, this is the most important thing. Bitcoin dominance has gone high enough. For me, as my target has always been about 60%. Now, why is this bullish? I'll tell you why. Throw a 1 in chat right now if you have quite a few alts. And that doesn't mean the number of alts. I mean, in your portfolio, do you have more than 30% of your portfolio in alts? Throw a 1. Do you have more than 60% of your portfolio in alts? Type in 2. And if you got more than 80% or maybe 80 to 100% only alts, throw in a 333. I want to see where you guys are doing with your portfolios because some of you are some absolute degens and I love it, but let's make sure we protect ourselves. So dominance is high. I'm talking about Bitcoin dominance. Why does that matter? Because if this is high, this means Bitcoin is outperforming the large majority of alts here. Okay. So if Benjamin Cowan, who's called this for 2 years, and nobody said Bitcoin dominance was going to go to 60%. He said he thinks it's high enough. And this is a rising wedge, which tend to break bearish. This breaking down would signal altcoins are ripping. So let's look at what we're talking about. Altcoins, I'm not sure how often I've shared this chart over the last few months, but I hope most people have been listening. It was really only a matter of time before USDT dominance breaks to the downside. Very similar to Bitcoin, but this impacts Bitcoin as well as altcoins in that if the USDT, if the tether dominance is dropping, that means people are converting their stablecoin into buying it. Basically, hey, I've got $1,000 in USDT, give me $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. Or I have $1,000 in USDT, give me 500 of Chainlink and 500 of Ethereum. You are selling your stablecoin to buy crypto. That's what this is showing. So if this breaks down, and look at this beautiful breakdown, move back up to confirm the breakdown and starting to move down. This is signaling that the buying appetite of all the dry powder that's sitting out there that people have been waiting, they're starting to say, okay, we got the clarity signal we need with this, regardless of the president, but the fact that we know what the next president's going to be, and it is a Bitcoin and crypto friendly, aligned, not only president, but I think it's like 240 new, 240 elected representatives in this election are all crypto focused as well. People are saying, okay, time to be out of the safety zone. Let's go get some risk. That's what we're here for right now. We've been stacking. Let's go. And then when we look at this, golly, market makers have tried to shake us off. The market makers have been trying to shake us off with 2 deviations. I hope you haven't panicked in the past few days. Whoever is still here deserves all the gains that will be made over the next few months. Golly, guys, we are here. Immediate breakout for altcoins is next. And this is, I mean, we can see this right here. There's total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So this is the total too. This is basically ETH and every altcoin. Look at this. Bear trap down, came right back into the zone. What's next? Bullishness, baby. Now continuing on what we got. Alt season is officially about to start. And I do think we still maybe have 6 or 8 weeks before, maybe a little longer, but somewhere in the next 2 months, yes, Bitcoin, altcoins will be pumping. But somewhere in the next 2 months, we'll likely see some periods. And I do think this is going to be a little bit different than the last 2 cycles. And I'm going to show you why in a second. But I do think altcoins those alts are going to start to outpace what you're holding in Bitcoin. Now, but remember, that's not like, hey, go get stuff other than Bitcoin. Remember, you need to protect yourself with healthy allocations in your portfolio so you don't put yourself at risk, because the more risk or the more potential gains you can get, the more risk you're also taking on as well. Whether it be breaches in their protocols, or security, SEC, Wells notices, so on and so forth, rugging, all that, failures of the protocol, so on and so forth. So you may get more gains in altcoins, but you're also taking on a huge exponential more risk the further down the market cycle you go. The current level kicked off alt season in 2016 and 2020. Boom, right here. And you notice this hovered fairly flat, although this did push up fairly flat until boom, alt season. See, came down, tapped, alt season. What are we going to see here? We'll have to see, but it's looking like it's setting up. However, let's pay attention to this. The presidential election, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 months down. This down is alts ripping. This is the dominance dropping. 1, 2, down. This is alt ripping. Now, where we at right now, we are on the precipice of having that next major move. The question is going to be, did I not put it up here? I had it up here. I had another chart. It's right over here. Yeah, it's right over here. So is it going to happen now or later? Well, considering right here, it's funny that alts are popping all across the board and largely outperforming Bitcoin. And then you have Ethereum struggling and not outperforming Bitcoin. Altcoins waited long enough for Big Daddy ETH, that top altcoin, meaning the largest market cap altcoin, to take the lead. They've been waiting for ETH to take the lead, which has historically sort of signaled risk is coming into alts, but they're tired of waiting and decided to go without it. And this point right here from Quentin Francois illustrates what I think is, maybe we have to be aware we may have a different type of cycle in terms of the capital flow. This is how historically it's for the most part been. Yes, you'll have outlier altcoins pumping on their own while everything else is relatively flat, or narratives moving like we saw with AI earlier this year. But we are on the cusp of a brand new crypto money flow cycle, and that is fiat, right? Or it could even be fiat or stablecoins into Bitcoin. And then you get the large caps like ETH and, the top 10, top 15. And then you get the mid caps further down that coin market cap listing. And then you get the low caps. But what have we seen this cycle? There is a difference this cycle, and that memes, and I'm not a big meme coin investor. I'm not a big meme coin speculator, and I'm not calling any of you out if you are. It's just not where my focus is. I have zero interest in it. Zero. That's why I don't bring up Popcat and Brett. It's like, for me, it's a joke. For me, if we really want this market to really take on global finance and all that, we need to have those things available, but it should not be the focus of capital in this market on the majority. However, you have to agree that people's money is very tight lately. People see and they feel like the crypto market has gone so far, maybe they're far behind. Oh, I can just, I know a friend, or I saw an article where somebody made $1 million off $100 buying a meme coin. That is a case. And we have seen the meme sector has been ripping when other parts of the market have just been flat. We also saw, as we talked about earlier, the AI sector absolutely just ripping to the upside earlier this year, coming back, giving away most of the gains, and now pushing up again. So we're seeing these different sectors of the market almost have their cycles independent of what's happening in this sort of money flow, cash flow cycle that we've seen historically. So do be prepared that you will see, based on different news narratives or niche narratives like NVIDIA and Render, right? BitTensor, Aether, so on and so forth. They may not follow. I really do think this is going to be different going into this cycle. I don't think it's going to be predominantly this. I think it's going to be Bitcoin, sure, but then different narratives are going to be flowing on their own accord. Now, continuing on, and then we're going to dive in here. This is also ETH showing maybe ETH is underperforming. Historically, when ETH MVRV, yes, ETH has on-chain metrics too. Momentum crosses its 180-day moving average, which is this red line. It signals a period of outperformance for ETH, meaning it's outperforming, starting to really rip, also outpacing Bitcoin. While prices have risen from 2,400 to 2,800 recently, that cross hasn't happened yet. This cross that we're looking for, you can see it's still quite low. This is what we're waiting on. Boom, right here. Even right here where we crossed, we got that secondary pump to the upside. We are waiting on that, which is really showing that we're starting to get momentum. So I do think ETH is underperforming. We will look at that here in a moment. But let's do some TA to wrap this out. And again, before we got a few minutes that we're going to be going over some TA. Everybody that's tuned in, we got about 600 people watching right now between Twitter and YouTube. Remember, show some love, hit the engage, hit the like button, subscribe, join us, turn on the notifications. And if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, come over to this post on my page right here at Kelly Kellum or at Academy BitLab. It is streaming on both. Hit that retweet, hit that like button. You get entered to win. Sometimes cash, sometimes merchandise, sometimes crypto. Show some love, get some engagement out there. And just a reminder, the link is right here. It's also pinned in the top of the live chat on YouTube. Head over to lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. That we got a great deal going on right now. You can see the link next to my video right there, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. You get 15 days free, and you also have the opportunity to upgrade into the indicators and full courses that we have. You get 15 days free for the Discord, and then it's 35% or something off for life. That deal, I told you, when we break past this all-time high, which we have, this deal is going away. Rather than just removing it, I want to give you all till Sunday to take advantage of this. And that locks your deal in for life, just so you know. You get 35% off for life of that account. And then it's going back to like $37.99 a month or something. Right now, I think it's 24 or something. And if you want to upgrade, get the 120 lessons where we talk on-chain, TA, psychology of trading, candles, patterns, structures, trading strategy. I mean, it's all in there. So take advantage of that while you can. And again, I want to shout out our channel partners, and we're going to do some TA right now. Make sure you're protecting yourself with the VPN. We got the best deal out there available for you. NordVPN.com / this is how you get the deal / BitLab. NordVPN.com / BitLab. This allows you to help protect yourself from so much nefarious activity of people trying to hack you, steal your identity, steal your crypto, and it's super cheap, and you get 4 months free. Again, that's NordVPN.com / BitLab. Now, let's look at the data. We may go a few minutes long today because I'm feeling good because these markets are looking good. This is what we're looking at right now, looking at the 48-hour heat map. We came up here, cleared this liquidity, came back down, and the bears couldn't even bring it down to this liquidity zone. We're getting more people going long than short. How do I know that? Because these are stacking up. This is getting brighter below, whereas above, we're seeing it's not much liquidity above us. But once we start getting into that irrational up, and away mode, we're going to start seeing the bias of buyers is going to be to buy and hesitation to sell. So let's stay vigilant, because this is what's going on. Looking at what's going on right here on the charts with the BitLab trading stack, which again, that link right over there, lab.bitlabacademy.com / deal. If you sign up, you get access to our Discord where we've been breaking down charts. There's the member streams, the feedback. We've got such a great community in there. And in addition to that, if you can take the upgrade right after you do that and get these indicators, look at this call, this reversal right here. You can see it. We have the moving averages and we got the reversal. 3 bullish divergences signaled this move to the upside. Also the VWAP right here, part of the BitLab trading stack. As this crossed back bullish, this gave that move. Now we got some hesitation here with trend shifts showing a little weakness in the underlying TA, automatically printed here, showing some trend shift, which doesn't mean breakdown. It means, okay, this momentum to the upside might shift for a bit. And we're getting that. We're getting a little sideways consolidation, almost like an ascending rising wedge sort of bull flag. There's a bullish bias underlying here, but we have to watch that. We also, right on this, I don't know if you guys can see this line. Let's make it a little brighter. This rising level of resistance, rejection. We're testing, trying to break out of this right now, but look at where this pulled back to. Right to this BitLab trading stack, this dynamic support zone right here, and the weekly VWAPs all the way down here, almost right in line with this target that we've had around $72,000. So if this rejects and comes down and bounces in this region, this is beautiful. We want to build the stairway to heaven like this. We want to look for these opportunities, these buying opportunities here. Not, oh my God, it's going back down, capitulate. Come on, man. You got to be, scared money don't make no money. Just hedge yourself, be smart. Now looking at this, this is looking so good. VWAP, you see this? See this is pushing up. It looks a little weak at the moment, but you see this VWAP has come down rounded and is starting to tick back up. This is on the 4 hour. What does it look like on the 1 hour? Now zooming back in here, these arrows are going to be irrelevant on this time frame. But see, VWAP angled up, stochastics angled up, RSI pushing up, having a little hesitation here. But there's a little hesitation. Remember, today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, we have the FOMC rate cut decision, likely 25 basis points, which will relieve a little more tension on the market and probably give a little bit of a bullish buoy in the market, meaning it's kind of holding this in a kind of consolidation zone as it is right now. Once we get that clarification, likely a little bit more, I think a little whipsaw on here, but then continuation to the upside. If we don't get the rate cut, we may get a little sell off in the interim, but things are bullish right now. We are in a bull market. The trend favors the bias of the trend itself, which is up likely. Up likely does not mean we can't have the small pullbacks along the way. So note that. Now getting back over here to Ethereum having a bit of a breakout. Look at this move from this low only 2-3 days ago. We are up, 22% on Ethereum. I didn't even notice that. From 2,300 up here, now we are flirting with getting back into that $3,000 mark. What does this look like on the daily? I talked about this quite a while ago. This level, I did not change this in the last probably a month and a half or two. This line has been here. The 2,800 mark was the area we were looking at getting above regionally, about 28.38 for Ethereum to US dollar. And look at us right now. Look at her fly pushing up above this zone. Does this mean it's only up from here? No. If we push a bit higher, we can look for a support here before a bounce. If we start to lose this zone, we get a wick, for instance, if this comes down, we're watching for a pullback down here to about 2,600. Ethereum to Bitcoin, starting to make a little bit of a move, but we got so much work to do on the ETH to Bitcoin chart. Why? Because it's been in a very persistent downtrend since September 2022. But look at this. Look at where it's having trouble, right at this trend signal line, this dynamic resistance zone right here on the BitLab trading stack. Get here on the daily. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we have broken above on the daily, but we haven't even cleared this recent low here, which is now a resistance level. Let's extend this out. Look at where this pushed up into. Some profit taking coming back down. So we got some work to do before the ultra bullishness comes for Ethereum, but it's starting to set up. Link came right into that zone. Look at this. It came right into the zone we talked about. Boom. All this zone right here. Bounced. This was a bear trap right back up into this other zone that we outlined. We've had this here for a while. Golly. And we're right at the descending level of resistance and this horizontal level of resistance. Once we clear here above $13, we're watching for a little bit of move up in here, some pullback in this zone. And then once we break through this, some retesting of this narrative. The next level up there would be basically about $20. So guys, we're on the precipice. We're not there yet. Get excited. Start your engines because it's looking good. Avalanche came right into the zone we outlined. Look at this. And now it's having a hesitation at the intersection of a descending resistance and a rising previous support here. Look at this. This is where it's slowing down just a touch. Let's go to the 2 hour. Look at this. We can extend this out just a little bit further. Look at where it's having trouble. It's as if you're looking at the charts in a meaningful way, if you know what you're doing, you can outline the areas of interest for likely chop, likely rejections, likely bounces. Set yourself up to stack into the probable moves so you don't get caught in the emotional moves. That's what this is about, everybody. Use that link if you haven't. It's right there. This deal is going away this Sunday. Take advantage of it to lock in that awesomeness for life so you know how to read these charts, so you know how to navigate the market, so you know how to look at on-chain data. So most importantly, so you get in the community that we have in Discord there, where it's just nonstop goodness with charts, setups, all of it on a daily basis, regularity. lab.bitlabacademy.com. /deal. The link is right there. It's also in the comments down below. It's also pinned in the top of the live chat there on YouTube. It's also in the first comment there on Twitter. And again, just a reminder to all of you, we got only 15 of 600 people really enter. Come on, enter to win, man. Hit this retweet, hit this like button. At minimum, hit the like button. Show some love. And we are just going strong here. Now, we got a couple more things to look at. We're going to go. Solana, look at this. Rejection, bounce, right? And the indicators here suggesting the bounce. And we had the money flow flip positive, part of the BitLab Trading Stack indicators, pushing up through the previous resistance, tried to have a little bit of a retest right into the trend signal line, the support zone, the dynamic support zone, this green shaded area, and now breaking to new highs of this region. We're at 195. What is next for Solana? Solana, we got to watch this zone right here, which is about 212, previous range high. We got to, and then the next level from there is going to be 255. And then it's like, I think Solana is going to have a Rippington of a bull market. And I mean, look at all these reversals to the downside. None of these trend shifts. Bullishness is defending this all the way in. 3 bullish divergences right here. And then breaking through, we got to watch 215, then 235, then up, and away. ONDO, still in the sideways range. Chop, 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 chop. But I do think this will likely get lit on fire soon. And essentially, we're going to be watching this. We're going to be watching this zone right in here, basically the 80 to 85 cent zone from this high and this high. Once this clears this, I do think momentum has been restored. Near protocol, look at this. Came down just like Chainlink, came right down to the level we outlined, boom, bounced, and now we're deciding. Near is deciding. Okay, it's kind of, you can argue it has broken back in, finding support. You can also argue it's regionally still testing whether or not it wants to break down and have one more move, or if this is going to start. And I think if this chooses the bullish narrative, which right now on the 8-hour, look at this, above the weekly VWAP. Let's get down to the 4-hour. A little bit of an inverted head and shoulders, kind of, but a very gimpy shoulder. But it's deciding right now. If this can clear 429, really 433, then I think this is making the move back up here to about $5 and then up, and away. Tau, let's look at Tau, baby. Tau. Same thing, looks just like we just saw on Near. So the AI narratives are looking very similar. What does FET look like? Ooh, FET got the move. So this got the move. So is this leading render similar that we saw on Tau and Near? So there's a little bit of hesitation. That might be because the AI money currently took FET first. And then we'll have to see. But guys, the market, aerodrome, large, giant W formation. We want to watch this break above $1.48, and then it's going to be up, and away. Everybody, I'm a bull. Are you a bull? Again, I'm asking you all, if you're watching on Twitter, comment down below this video. What do you think the crypto market cap is going to be on CoinGecko in, let's say, October? It's not even say that. What do you think the total crypto market cap, meaning this right here, if you look at this right here, it says market cap. What do you think this is going to be when we get the market cycle peak this cycle? Do you think it's going to be over 5 trillion? Do you think it's going to be over 7? 5 to 7, 7 to 10, or do you think we're going to be above 10 trillion for this crypto market cycle? Comment down below if you're on Twitter. Comment down below the video, not in the live chat. Comment down below this video on YouTube. Let me know. I hope you're all well. I hope you're feeling good. The markets are exciting. I'm trying to film a video this afternoon in case I can't live stream tomorrow. I'm flying at 6 a.m. tomorrow to New York because I got to go DJ an event with some of my old contacts. Sometimes I still do the DJ stuff periodically, meeting up with some friends. I will try to get some footage of that as well. Playing a great party Saturday night. So I'm going to try and live stream tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If not, I'll put another video out. I love you. I appreciate you. Bulls are back in town. I said the Bulls are back in town. Da, 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 da. Hit that like button. Let's go. Heading over to Blockchain Basement. Adios, muchachos. Watch for the Fed rate this afternoon. Don't get caught in the chop.